Here's another show you can enjoy in the True Story FM family of entertainment podcasts.
Okay, now for the lightning round.
I'm so good at lightning rounds. That's from Friends. It's my favorite show.
20 seconds on the clock starts now. Who is the captain of the USS Enterprise?
Oh, crap. Is it, Captain Stubing? No, Morgan? Crunch?
Next question. Which superhero is Tony Stark?
Stark. Did Game of Thrones have superheroes? I only watched 2 episodes.
What planet were Luke and Leia born on?
Planet Fitness?
Oh, time's up. Sorry. And now, a word from our sponsor.
Hey everybody, Mandy Kaplan here. Please check out my podcast, Make Me a Nerd, where each week an incredible guest tries to baptize this mainstream mom into the world of sci-fi, fantasy, and all things nerdy. Available wherever you podcast.
That's our show, folks.
Wait, I just thought of it. Padme Amidala gave birth to her twins Luke and Leia on Polis Massa. No, that's dumb. Is it Planet Hollywood?
Coming up on The Devil's Details, are there lady demons? Solomon wants to know. The Testament of Solomon, Part 2. Good morning, Star Lovelies, and welcome to another episode of The Devil's Details, a show where we dig up, decipher, dissect, and deconstruct the many forms of the devil. One of my names is Lester Ryan Clark.
And I sometimes go by Keenan Diaz.
And we're just 2 lost souls hitchhiking down the highway to hell. And just a reminder, today's episode was originally recorded as bonus content for our first podcast, The Exorcist Minute, so I think we should hand it over. Take it away, past Lester and Keenan. We stand in solidarity with the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes. And folks, you are in luck this week. Last time we got extra biblical. This week we are getting extra biblical as we continue our examination of the apocryphal text of the Testament of Solomon. Keenan, what do you remember about the Testament of Solomon last week?
This is becoming my least favorite segment. What do I remember? So King Solomon was going along and he wanted to build the temple, and he was granted, or he found, or he discovered a ring with a hexagram on it.
Yeah, with the seal of Solomon.
The seal of it's convenient for him that it had his name. Yes,
yes, right.
Yes, it's very good. If it had somebody else's name on it, it would not be. So
it was given to him by Saint Michael.
Oh, good. Okay, great.
Right, because he went into the non-existent temple to pray and ask how to deal with that demon.
Right. And they said, you shall build a temple here.
Yes.
Yes. So he wanted to build the temple. And so he was out there trying to do that. And if I remember correctly, an unrelated story that then unites us all together, there was a demon who was out besetting a young boy, like a young man or a young boy. And that demon was... the way it was infecting this young man was that it was in his sleep going and sucking his thumb. And out from the thumb would come all the goodness and all the health and vigor and vim of this young man. And so this young man went to Solomon to complain about this. And Solomon went out.
How do you eat a Reese's Pieces?
Wait, how does he eat Reese's Pieces?
I don't know. I imagine this demon probably he takes a little bite out of the edge, right? And he sucks all the peanut butter out. You know?
That's so wrong.
It is. Yeah.
So Solomon's like, here's what you do, kid. You take this great ring that was given to me by St. Michael, and you go and this will help you. And so the kid takes the ring and he throws it at the demon, and it hits him in the chest and does some kind of magic on him. And now the demon is like, not only am I completely weak now, I have to do what you say. And he follows the kid back to Solomon, and Solomon's like, who the hell are you? And he's like, this is my name, and so since you have my name, you have my power now. And not only am I going to help you build this temple, I'm going to help you give you all the knowledge to find all the other demons.
It was kind of
right?
like it was like a one of those like three Billy Goats Bluff situations.
The Billy Goats Bluff.
Yeah, because it was like wait. You know, I have lots of bigger and stronger friends that can help you. Don't make me build a temple.
Right. I don't want to break a nail.
Yeah,
right. It's the other ones.
I know digits. I'm.
Right, that's the one thing I know.
I'm an expert, you might say.
And what to do with little male people's digits, yes.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if we can keep that in.
Well, I don't know if we have any indication that this guy, Ornias, right?
Which means pesky.
Yeah, he's the pesky demon. Whether he did this to anybody else or any other genders, like, was it this one kid that he liked doing this to, or was it?
No,
was he doing it all the time?
Yeah, and it doesn't really say. Well, Solomon asks him like what he does, you know, for a living, or for a eternity, demoning, yeah. And he says that he visits other people in his sleep, right? He takes the form of a woman, and he does like kind of the succubus thing, right?
Okay, great.
Which is, he's a thumb sucking demon, so it all tracks, yeah.
So that's about all I can remember. Anything else we left off that the folks at home would need?
I think that's it. And they can always cross-check us by going back and listening to our first episode of the Testament of Solomon. Yeah.
You're trying to get those down. I thought you were going to say go and read the Testament of Solomon because it's.
No.
No. Re-download our episode.
Yes,
and tell all your friends.
Much more beneficial to us. Yeah. You don't need no dusty book. We got you here on the Exorcist Minute. But no, very, very good. Well done, Keenan. So
Thank you.
So yes, Ornias is like, wait. I can bring you many bigger, stronger demons than I. And he even offers up the Prince of Demons, right? And we were wondering like who this Prince of Demons is. But yeah, we're going to see that. And Keenan, can you guess who the Prince of Demons is in this tale?
No, it's not someone that we've already met who turned like the kid doesn't turn out to be the Prince of Demons or something like that.
No.
Okay.
Ooh, that'd be a good twist right there.
No, I can't.
And that was Ornias just trying to get like the good like princey goodness that's inside him. It's like a royal Reese's Pieces,
right?
Or peanut butter cup. There we go. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Right.
No,
like a Hot Pocket. You just bite the edge of a Hot Pocket and suck on it all throughout dinner and just maintain eye contact with your parents.
I love how we keep on choosing foods that you specifically don't do that with. I'm sure there's other foods that are much like we could talk about like, the kid is like, a glass of chocolate milk and Ornias is using a straw to suck out the life force. We could say he's a Go-Gurt packet. Folks, if you know Go-Gurt, that was a really funny joke.
Yes.
But yeah, okay, so let's get back to this. So back to the story. So this is actually very interesting. Keenan, it is none other than Beelzebub.
I've heard of him.
Yes, you have. Keenan, what do you know about Beelzebub?
Well, William Golding invented Beelzebub in 1959 in his novel The Lord of the Flies.
Okay, all right. Interesting. Okay. It's wrong, but...
but interesting nonetheless.
Yes.
Well, I Google Beelzebub translation. It says, in one understanding, Beelzebub is translated literally as Lord of the Flies.
Yes. And actually, we're gonna get to that a little bit later when we talk about the etymology. Not the entomology, but that would also be appropriate here when we're talking about flies.
All right, So it's Keenan and Google on one side versus Lester in this one. So
Lester and his vast infinite knowledge, which I have obtained from 72 demons, which they could be lying, folks. So,
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Or they could just be on the internet, just furiously Googling things. It's like, oh, God, he asked about Beelzebub. What does Wikipedia say? Anyway, okay, but... when you hear the name Beelzebub, like, do you think the devil, or do you think like another demon?
Right. I think the devil. Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
So Beelzebub is like the devil's nickname, like Algernon, that he uses when he goes into town in The Importance of Being Earnest. Yeah, they use Algernon and Earnest, for their trips into town.
I see. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we have we have Beelzebub, we have Lucifer, we have Satan, we have what are some other Old Scratch,
right?
Right, or Old Nick. Yeah, actually, same thing with me. For a long time, I always thought it to be another name for the devil, right? Satan, the devil, Lucifer, Beelzebub, Mephistopheles, our good buddy Mephi. Then in high school, I read Paradise Lost, rather, I lied and said I read Paradise Lost. And the teacher believed me, and I got 100%, folks. And it was because my idea for a book report was so unique that she completely overlooked the fact that it contained almost nothing from the actual book. So what I did was I recorded a fake interview with the devil. And it was this thing where he was like promoting his new book, Paradise Lost, that he was starring in. Right? But Keenan, here's the thing. It was just me. I was asking myself the questions. And when I answered as the devil, I just did a thing with my voice so that it sounded like the devil.
Which is like the cheapest trick ever. That's the first and last time I've ever done anything like that.
But yeah, I got 100% because on my tape, the devil admitted that he was a Britney fan and he invented Napster. Not only did I get 100%, but she played it in class. And for once, everyone was laughing with me, probably.
So this is why you've become a podcaster, I suppose.
Yeah, I think this was the early whispers of my podcast destiny. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Memory lane.
Now you've talked about Paradise Lost several times on this show.
I have, yes.
So now you've read it, or do we just want to have the listeners guess about whether you?
Folks, I have read Paradise Lost. I promise you. Since then, I have read it. I promise. I just when I was forced to do a book report about it in high school, I lied and still got 100%, which I think works thematically with Paradise Lost anyway. So yeah, So I was trying to say in Paradise Lost, which I have read and I actually really like. Not sure if you all can tell that, but yeah, in that poem, John Milton makes Satan and Beelzebub two different characters. And that was the first time that I had come across that. And after reading that, I was like, okay, I guess I was wrong this whole time. And
the whole time,
right? And this was reinforced by like all of these other books on demonology and the occult, which I later discovered, which claim that there are not one, not two, not three, but 7 princes of hell. Corresponding to the 7 deadly sins. And folks, we might do an episode on that because the supposed hierarchy of hell is really interesting. Lots of sources say that there are 7 kings to match the 7 deadly sins, but none of them can agree on who rules what, right? They all agree Lucifer is pride. Memon is greed. Asmodeus is lust. We're actually going to meet him in this story. And Beelzebub, once again, separate from Satan, is usually either envy or gluttony. The writers can't decide. Leviathan is in there. It's bananas, right? And I kind of want to do an episode on that now.
And Leviathan is a female demon? Or no?
I think he is. Again with these demonology books, right? Nobody can agree, right? So sometimes it's a female, sometimes it's a male, right?
Oh, okay.
Sometimes there are 72 demons that Solomon had. Sometimes there are 36, like in our story, right?
Right.
And again, 36, 72. But yeah, and there's a whole hierarchy in the Lesser Key of Solomon. People or demons are dukes and princes and knights and presidents. Right? Yeah, it's all over the place. Yeah, but all of that to say, Beelzebub is not a new name. In fact, it may have come from one of the Canaanite gods, originally Beelzebul, which itself is thought to be derived from Baal. And that's not the first time we've heard from him, and it won't be the last, but I've read some texts that say Beelzebul or Baalzebul could simply mean Lord of the Heavenly Realm, because Baal apparently just means Lord. So Beelzebul could be something like Lord of High Places, Lord of the Skies, Lord of the Heavens. And so then Beelzebub could be, and this is what some scholars say, the Israelites making a derogatory pun. Because they considered the Canaanites to be pests. So it's like, Lord of the Skies, more like Lord of the Flies. Am I right, guys?
But now Lord of the Flies, it's a scary term.
Yeah, right. Now it seems like it's something like terrible, like the Lord of like carrion and rot and corpses and death and these beasts associated with death, right? Yeah. So it's really cool how like these things change over time, right? Same thing with like witch hats. I believe the idea of like the artistic depictions of witches with pointed hats was like the old timey version of like political cartoons. It would be the Christians drawing the practitioners of the old religion, and they would be putting the pointy hats on them. Witches never depicted themselves wearing pointy hats,
right?
And that was because it was an old, outdated piece of fashion, and so they were trying to say, look at these, backwards, hillbillies. They're still wearing like last century's fashion, and they're still worshiping. They're still practicing last century's religion. But okay. But in this story, Beelzebub is the equivalent to the devil. So we have come all the way around, right? So now Beelzebub is back to being just the devil. It's another name for the devil, right? So that's who this is. So Solomon has summoned the devil. Well, okay, sorry. He's summoned Ornias, the pesky demon, to summon the devil.
Right.
Actually, okay. He's summoned Uriel to summon Ornias, the pesky demon, to summon the devil. No. He's summoned the little boy, the thumb-sucked boy, to summon Ornias, and then he summons Uriel to summon Ornias, and then Ornias goes and summons the devil.
Right. But that poor boy, because that's the way surnames worked back then. So it's like, his son would be like Jacob, son of Philip, the thumb sucked.
The right. Thumb sucked, right?
Right. So for generations, it's like, my name is Peter the thumb sucked.
Oh God.
Lesser thumb sucked. The third.
You see that temple? I built that temple. They don't call me Jacob the temple builder.
But a demon sucks your thumb one time.
But yeah, okay, so back to our story. So it's at this point the narrative takes like a weird turn, right? We're not with Solomon, we're with Ornias as he goes to fetch Beelzebub, right? So this is verses 13 through 15. So here we go. So Ornias took the finger ring and went off to Beelzebul, who has kingship over the demons. He said to him, "Hither, Solomon calls thee." But Beelzebul, having heard, said to him, "Tell me, who is this Solomon of whom thou speakest to me?" Then Ornias threw the ring at the chest of Beelzebul, saying, "Solomon the king calls thee." But Beelzebul cried aloud with a mighty voice, and shot out a great burning flame of fire, and he arose, and followed Ornias, and came to Solomon. And when I saw the prince of demons, I glorified the Lord God, maker of heaven and earth. And I said, Blessed art thou, Lord God Almighty, who hast given to Solomon thy servant wisdom, the assessor of the wise, and hast subjugated unto me all the power of the devil. And I questioned him, and said, Who art thou? The demon replied, I am Beelzebub, the exarch of the demons, and all the demons have their chief seats close to me. And I it is who make manifest the apparition of each demon. And he promised to bring me in bonds all the unclean spirits. And I again glorified the God of heaven and earth, as I do always give thanks to him. So there you go. So Solomon has successfully brought the prince of demons into his court. And according to this text, it sounds like not only is he the leader of all the demons, but it says that he makes manifest the apparition of each demon. So he is the creator of the other demons?
So is he going to work like the king vampire? Like once you get them, then you got all the other ones?
I guess once you have the king of the demons, or I guess the prince of the demons.
Right.
You got them all, right?
Right, it sounds like it.
Yeah, right. So then, according to this story, can you guess, Keenan, what is the next thing that Solomon does?
Well, I thought they'd go build the temple, but I guess not.
No. It's like Solomon's got time. He's got a magic ring. So the next thing he does, he asks Beelzebub, Lord of all the demons, if there are lady demons. To which Beelzebub says, yes. And
of course.
Of course. And so Solomon is like, I want to see lady demons. And Beelzebub is like, sigh. And he goes off and he brings Solomon this demon called Oniskelus, who had, quote, a very pretty shape and the skin of a fair-hued woman. But, Keenan, she also has donkey legs.
Okay, great.
and that's what her name means, is donkey legs.
Oh, I see.
Right? And this is where that's
an aptonym for you.
That's an aptonym, right? There we go.
Because if her parents had named her something else.
Like beautiful legs. But okay, actually, I wanted to check. Keenan, what is your take on, like, the first thing Solomon does is like, are there lady demons? I want to see lady demons.
Don't make me answer that. You know what that's about.
This is Solomon, Keenan.
You know why. Yeah,
this is the king of Israel. This is the builder of the first temple.
Yeah, but he's a man before, 2010.
Yeah.
So, yes.
And Beelzebub is just like, all right.
Right, I know where this is. I've met people before.
Yeah. Jeez. But yeah, so like this is where you kind of see the seams of the story, folks. Like you realize that a lot of these demons don't actually exist outside of this story, right? Like Oniskelus's name literally means donkey legs, right?
Right,
So, like, it's just made up for this story, right? Ornias means pesky, Oniskelus means donkey legs, right? It's very like Cinderella Rumpelstiltskin-y. Like, these aren't established demons that have been, like, around.
Oh, right,
Right.
So the author of this text is inventing these creatures, yes.
That is what I have come to understand. Yes. Right. So Solomon questions Oniskelus, and she says that she dwells in caves and ravines, and she perverts men from their true natures, and sometimes she kills them, and sometimes she has sex with them.
Oh, but in which order? That matters here.
We're not making judgment calls on demons, okay? I don't want to get any angry emails from demons generalizing them. So I'm just going to say, whatever you do, demons, you do you.
Right.
Okay? We respect you. And so Solomon asks how she came to be. And she says, I was born of an untimely voice, born from an echo of the utterance of a man, as one translation puts it. But there's an older translation, and it goes, quote, I was born of a voice untimely, the so-called echo of a man's ordure, dropped in a wood. Now, Keenan, I apologize in advance, but go ahead and look up the definition of ordure. Don't Google image search.
I am on a work computer, so let's do what we can here. Oh.
Yep.
Why'd they have to say it like that, though?
Yeah, I don't know. It's old-timey sounding. All right. So let's read this again, because I want full understanding.
Okay.
I was born of a voice untimely, the so-called echo of a man's ordure dropped in a wood.
Okay.
So more specifically, the echo of a man's ordure.
Right. It sounded really beautiful until I found out what ordure means.
Yes. So folks, just to clue everybody in, so that your computer history is safe. An ordure is poop.
Right.
Yeah, it's a poop. So I'm taking to mean that she was born from a fart.
A fart caused by a poop.
Yes.
Yes. So not just a fart, free and clear.
A shart.
Yes, exactly. So she's born from the echo of a shart.
See, Now, we wonder why this wasn't accepted as canon.
Well, there's plenty of gross stuff in the Bible when you actually read through it.
But no, folks, this is what I mean, right? Orniskelis is not in any other texts. There is no other demonic lore about her.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't come like Beelzebub from another religion.
Right.
She appears to be made up just for this story, and she was born from a fart. And so scholars are wondering, like, is this satire?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is this like a joke? Like, well, it is
like that. This
a
is
satyr, so you know.
Right. So this is Ken. Oh, that's funny. Orniskelis is like a satyr.
For that prolonged.
No, I got it. It took a little bit. I had to. It's a joke about like Roman literature and about donkey legs. I get it. I get it now.
Mm-hmm,
So it took me a little bit. Okay. Right, but so is this whole thing like a Candide or something like that, right?
Right. Yeah.
Where,
so
like you could misread it and think it's serious and go, "That's very weird." But once you know it's a joke, then everything is funny.
Right. So I mean, it's like, now let's go back to the thumb sucking. No. Let's not go back to the thumb sucking. But like, no, it calls into question the whole kind of like what this is supposed to be, right?
Okay.
And this might be the first real hint that this might not be canon, perhaps because the intention maybe was not religious instruction, but like entertainment.
Right.
Right. So it may not have even been trying to be canon. Right.
Yeah. This is the key here. This is the clef to understand the rest of it.
Yeah. And then you notice, right, like there's a lot of demons in here that are not found anywhere else, right? Like almost as if they were made specifically for this story. And a lot of them are either ridiculous, like pesky Ornias or Orniskelis here, or they're like literal personifications of things like envy or strife, right? And a lot of them, like when they introduce themselves, they'll say like, I'm why men are like this, or I'm why women are like this, or I'm why this shitty thing happens sometimes in the world, right? It's me. I do that. Like, that's my department.
Right.
So now I'm like, but yeah, that's an interesting kind of like lens to look at this through. So Solomon asks what star she resides in, because remember, like she did that, or Solomon did that with Ornias as well.
Yeah. What's your sign? Where do you live? Basically.
Yeah. Right. What do you do? What's your sign? Where do you live? Right. How can we call you if we need you again? Right.
Right. Emergency contact info.
Yeah. What's your manager's name? Right. Yeah. But okay, so so Solomon asks what star she resides in, and she says the full moon.
Okay, and that's unusual, or
it is unusual, like to us right now, to modern day readers. But folks, like back in the day, right? Like stars, constellations, planets, astral bodies, they all seem to be regarded as the same thing. Right? So they would have like the moon be included in that, right? Like they're all just lights in the firmament, right? Remember we talked about the firmament being kind of like this dome, this blanket over the earth, right? With all these little pinpricks of light in them, right? So occasionally Solomon will ask what star they come from, and it won't be a star. It'll be like a constellation, or it'll be like a phase of the moon. So like multiple moons here, right? Like, so she's not the only one coming from the moon. Like we have someone coming from a crescent moon or
okay.
Yeah, right? So yeah, so her home is the full moon specifically. I don't know if we can make another like dirty joke about that. I don't know.
You know, I don't normally make full moon jokes, but now it's my job, and it's
I mean, I come from the echo of a fart, and my home is the full moon. There's a full moon out tonight. No. It's kind of low-hanging fruit. But,
yeah. Sometimes you just got to take it. Sometimes, right?
Yeah, right. So, okay, so then Solomon asks which angel it is that frustrates her, or I guess like counterbalances her, right?
Oh, okay.
And at first, she says something like, it is the one who dwells in you, which some scholars take to mean like, oh, this is the spirit of God working through Solomon, right? But in the
text, that's like what a lot of that's what a lot of early Judaism is about, is distinguishing Yahweh as the God as opposed to being one of the gods, right?
Right, yes.
Right. Like that's the first commandment, right?
Right, thou shalt have no other god before me. Right. But actually, yeah, and like I'm reading up on this. Back then, though, there was a I guess it changed over time, but there was this understanding that not that God was the only God, but that he was the strongest God.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that really, really interests me. It's like you shall have no other gods before me.
Right.
Those other gods who I acknowledge the existence of.
Right.
Like, but I'm better than them, right? So I thought that was really interesting.
And then eventually it is anything that you see as these manifestations of other God, that comes from me anyways.
Yeah.
Because I'm the one who created the heavens and the earth and everything in them.
Yeah. All of those fake gods, they don't exist, right?
Right.
But yeah, so that's Oniskelos' answer when Solomon asks, what angel is it that, that frustrates her? And she says, the one that dwells in you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, so scholars are like, oh, he's like, might be talking about like God, right? Yahweh. But in the text, Solomon thinks that she's taunting him. So he has one of the soldiers like strike her. And then she says, oh, no, it's actually the angel Joel.
Oh, okay.
Right? So, I'm a little bit confused about that. Like, because the other one seemed true, right? It's like, it's the,
mm-hmm.
I don't know how you can take that as an insult or a mock.
Solomon knew.
Yeah.
That's why he's Solomon and we're just two chuckleheads.
There we go. Yeah. And actually, I thought this angel was made up for this story. There are angels who come later, just like the demons, who seem to be made up specifically for this story. But this one appears in several Jewish apocryphal books alongside like Michael and Gabriel and Raphael and Uriel, whom we've already met, and Michael we've already met. And folks, you might notice like all of these angels' names end in L. And that's actually one of the names of God. And so these names translate to different things. Like Gabriel means God is my strength. And Raphael means God heals. And Michael translates to who is like God. But that name, Michael's name, people have gone back and forth about that one, right? And this is why language is so tricky and so fascinating to me, folks, because they're like, oh, does it mean like he who is like God? Or is it like rhetorical, like who dares to presume to be like God? Who is like God, right? And you look at the stories, and Michael is always in opposition to Satan, who presumed to be like God, right? So his name could be seen as like a challenge to Satan, like you presume who is like God? You think you are, right?
Okay.
But then, Keenan, I didn't know this until just last week. Do you know about Michael and the Jehovah's Witnesses?
Oh, no.
So apparently, they believe that first interpretation, he who is like God, and they also see that he is an archangel, and so they say, aha, like archangel, like a leader of angels. And so they conclude Michael is Jesus in pre-human form.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like before Jesus was Jesus, he was Michael, is what they believe.
Right. Jesus always, because of the nature of Jesus, he existed before he was born, right?
Right.
Right. So that's across all sorts of denominations. But so then they're saying like, oh, okay, so Michael, as we see him, is where Jesus was before he existed.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. That's really cool.
Yeah, and that way you can be like, oh, he who is like God, right? That's what Michael means, right? So, I mean, like me and my Catholic upbringing, and Michael's my saint, so I don't I got my own opinions about Michael. Okay?
You like them being separate because that's your guy.
Because that's my guy, right? Well, they're both my guys, so it's like.
Oh, I like that. So
but
so the L, so that's like Elohim, which is one of the names of God, and so that L in Elohim means God. And then I had to look this up to remind myself. So that Elohim is a plural version of God or gods, and that's again like that's what's so fascinating about it. Like in that etymology, as I understand it, like him having a plural name is not to say that he is polytheistic, but again to reinforce that he is not only is he God, he is gods. Right, because he's so God that he is gods. Right.
I'm so God that I'm all gods.
Right, exactly.
Whoops, all gods.
So that's interesting. So I hadn't put that together. That the L in Michael and Gabriel and Uriel is all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And we're gonna see a lot of now. Anytime you guys are like playing a video game and there's like an angel or a demon, because the demons also have like these L's in their name, right? Like just look for them. You'll be able to see them.
Azrael and
exactly. He's one of them. Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna come across a couple of them in this story. But yeah. Okay, so back to our story here. So Solomon is talking to Oniskelus, and Oniskelus says that her counteracting angel is Joel, which some translations say means Jehovah is the Lord, right? So again, we got like talking about the God, right? And so Solomon doesn't need to summon Joel. Like he needed to summon Uriel for Ornias to do what he's told, but he doesn't need to do that for Oniskelus. He just says, okay, go spin the hemp into rope for the temple. And so that's her job now. And so, Ornias is going and he's cutting stone, and now Oniskelus is spinning the hemp into rope for the temple. Now, sometimes he has the demons do a job that is like specifically like thematic to them, like it's either painful for them or it's something that like they don't like doing.
Okay.
Or something that they're like weak against. And other times it's just like a random thing. Or it could have some significance, but like, that it's lost in the translation or it's lost in time or something like that. Like, so we don't know. Like maybe that is like, very poetic, like having Oniskelus spin the rope, but like we don't understand that right now.
Yeah.
Right. In 2023.
Right. Sew buttons used to be sort of a swear.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So's your old man will sew buttons.
Sew buttons?
Yeah, like I don't get it because we don't sew buttons anymore, so we don't care.
Well, we don't sew buttons, but people still sew buttons.
Yes, yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't want to. So maybe it's we don't associate with like drudgery or anything, but maybe they did.
Mm-hmm. I've heard go kick rocks.
Go kick rocks, which we all understand is boring as hell.
And potentially painful.
Right.
Go fly a kite, which doesn't sound bad. Go fly a kite.
Yeah.
Take a hike. Right? Can you imagine like Solomon is just like, okay, you go fly a kite, you go kick rocks, you go jump off a cliff. Well, that's actually
jump off a billy goat's gruff. And you sew buttons.
Yep.
I don't want to.
Well, buttons haven't been invented yet. But yeah, so after Oniskelus, Solomon summons a rather famous demon. He features prominently in Judeo-Islamic lore. He's actually in that story in the Talmud, Keenan, the one that you had alluded to earlier. In that one, he tricks Solomon into giving him the ring, and then he punches him into the stratosphere. This is like an anime uppercut.
Right, exactly.
He changes his shape so that now he looks like Solomon.
Oh, cool.
And then he goes and sleeps with all his wives. Oh. Sleeps with his mother.
Oh, what?
And basically pretends to be Solomon while Solomon is away having like his own adventures trying to get back to Israel, right?
But why would Bathsheba sleep with him just because
I have not read this part yet. This is very, very this was a slapdash explanation. I might be wrong about a couple things. I'm going to have to go back and look.
Yeah, is it saying something about her, like, because she comes from a different tribe, and she's a Hittite, I think, and that's why, that's why it's like a big deal that Solomon is chosen, I believe, to be the king. Like, and that was like, oh, that's God's wisdom, is that even though he's not like part of the legitimate branch, he's, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. But yeah, and then anyway, like so Solomon gets back to Israel, and this demon just skedaddles. Gets out of it. It's like, whoa. But that seems to be his thing, is like he seems to be kind of like another one of these like funny, pesky, like, oh, that darn demon, right? And this demon, folks, if you haven't figured it out yet, his name is Asmodeus, or sometimes Ashmedai or Asmodeus, right? So he's pretty established.
Okay.
He's also the main villain in the Book of Tobit, another non-canonical text, which interestingly he references here, like literally, like you might remember me from such classic extra biblical tales as the one how the angel Raphael defeated me with a fish, right? So now our story is drawing on some established lore. Like everyone who reads this is going to know Asmodeus, right? Or Asmodeus or Ashmedai, right? And his intro here is pretty cool also, right? So this is verses 21 to 25. And I at once bade another demon to be led unto me, and instantly there approached me the demon Asmodeus, bound, and I asked him, Who art thou? But he shot me a glance of anger and rage, and said, And who art thou? And I said to him, Thus punished as thou art, answerest thou me? But he, with rage, said to me, But how shall I answer thee? For thou art a son of man, whereas I was born an angel's seed by a daughter of man, so that no word of our heavenly kind addressed to the earth-born can be overweening. Wherefore also my star is bright in heaven, and men call it some the Wain, and some the Dragon's child. I keep near unto this star. So ask me not many things, for thy kingdom also, after a little time, is to be disrupted, and thy glory is but for a season, and short will be thy tyranny over us, and then we shall again have free range over mankind, so as that they shall revere us as if we were gods, not knowing, men that they are, the names of the angels set over us. And I, Solomon, on hearing this, bound him more carefully, and ordered him to be flogged with thongs of oxhide, and to tell me humbly what was his name, and what his business. And he answered me thus, I am called Asmodeus among mortals, and my business is to plot against the newly wedded, so that they may not know one another. And I sever them utterly by many calamities, and I waste away the beauty of virgin women, and estrange their hearts. And I said to him, Is this thy only business? And he answered me, I transport men into fits of madness and desire, when they have wives of their own, so that they may leave them and go off by night and day to others that belong to other men, with the result that they commit sin and fall into murderous deeds. And I adjured him by the name of the Lord God Sabaoth, saying, Fear God, Asmodeus, and tell me by what angel thou art frustrated. But he said, By Raphael, the archangel that stands before the throne of God. But the liver and gall of a fish put me to flight when smoked over ashes of the tamarisk. I again asked him, and said, Hide not aught from me, for I am Solomon, son of David, king of Israel. Tell me the name of the fish which thou reverest. And he answered, It is the glanos by name, and is found in the rivers of Assyria, wherefore it is that I roam about in those parts. And I said to him, Hast thou nothing else about thee, Asmodeus? And he answered, The power of God knoweth, which hath bound me with the indissoluble bonds of yonder one's seal, that whatever I have told thee is true. I pray thee, King Solomon, condemn me not to go into water. But I smiled and said to him, As the Lord God of my fathers liveth, I will lay iron on thee to wear. But thou shalt also make the clay for the entire construction of the temple, treading it down with thy feet. And I ordered them to give him 10 water jars to carry water in. And the demon groaned terribly, and did the work I ordered him to do. And this I did, because that fierce demon Asmodeus knew even the future. And I, Solomon, glorified God, who gave wisdom to me, Solomon, his servant. And the liver of the fish and its gall I hung on the spike of a reed, and burned it over Asmodeus because of his being so strong. And his unbearable malice was thus frustrated. Okay, so we got a lot of stuff to unpack here.
Solomon is being kind of vindictive to these here demons.
Yeah. Okay. So that was actually one question I wanted to ask you, Keenan. So, I mean, Keenan, these are demons, right? These are evil demons, right? But I don't know. Reading this, with a modern 2023 mind, I kind of get the impression that Solomon is being a little bit of a bully here.
Yeah, a little bit. Right. I mean, in the criminal justice system, these demons should be seen innocent until proven guilty. Yeah.
I guess just by being demons, right? It's like they're already condemned, right?
I guess so.
Yeah. But yeah, and some readers of this text say, oh, like he was so mean to Asmodeus because he was trying to I don't know, like contain his power.
Oh,
right? Like,
with the iron
exactly, and making him hold the water jugs, and then like making him smell this awful fish, which apparently I think it's supposed the fish is the glanos, which I think is a type of catfish.
Okay,
so yeah. Yeah, so folks, if you're ever worried that Asmodeus is on your trail, you just burn some catfish and you should be okay.
All right. If you're ever worried that Asmodeus has been sleeping with all your wives,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
After he punched you into the stratosphere, and it took you several months to walk home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then you come home and you find yourself, right? Getting up to all sorts of shenanigans. Mm-hmm. And you say, "How dare you mock me, Asmodeus?" And then all the other demons, they stick their heads in through the windows like, "Asmodeus, Asmodeus."
oh, Asmodeus.
I will say, okay, again, the Apocryphals did that joke. Okay. But yeah, so he now he's got Asmodeus, and Asmodeus is specifically making the clay bricks, right. Which I guess he's stamping out the clay with his feet. Mm-hmm. So he's that involves water. Keenan, okay, full disclosure here, I don't know how you make clay bricks. It's been a while.
You take mud. Uh-huh. And yeah, that's how it's literally mud that you turn into clay.
Okay, because specifically Asmodeus begged not to be near water.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, and then he's like, okay, you're going to make the bricks. And at first I was like, wait, and I was looking for, it's like, okay, you're going to gather all the water. But this does nothing but tell listeners how little I know about making bricks.
No, I've never done it myself, but you go down to the river and you dredge mud, certain types of mud, and then you have to go and stamp them out and dry them and then turn them into tablets that you fire.
Okay, there we go. So,
if I remember correctly.
So Asmodeus is getting his feet dirty and wet.
Yes.
Okay, so, and not only that, but he's also carrying a bunch of pots filled with water on his back while he's doing this. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he got to deal with that fish smell as well. Right. So, poor Asmodeus. I'm just going to say, hashtag justice for Asmodeus. Yeah. No.
I'd let him sleep with all my wives.
I'm sensing a loophole in your promise, Keenan. Sure. Go. Hey, you know what? You know what, Keenan? Mm-hmm. Currently, yeah, I would do that too.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, so after this, Solomon calls back Beelzebub and sits him down on a throne or a raised seat. Okay, actually, before this, Keenan, did this bother you a little bit? Like the order of things, right? Like we started out this episode, it was like, we're going to meet the king of the prince of demons, right? Beelzebub. Mm-hmm. We meet him very, very briefly.
Right.
And so far, this episode has been all about Oniskelus and Asmodeus.
Right.
And now we're getting to Beelzebub.
Yeah, who is the prince of the demons.
Right. But he showed up before for a little bit. I mean, if we wanted to make this into a better narrative,
right.
Wouldn't we have waited and have now it's all Beelzebub?
Right. In modern stories, you kill the bad guys in order of their badness.
Right.
And that has not quite happened, yeah.
No. But anyway, so now Beelzebub is back. Mm-hmm. And interestingly, different from how he has treated the other demons so far, right? He sits Beelzebub down on a throne or a raised seat, and he asks Beelzebub why he is alone. Mm-hmm. We're not sure what this means, since up to this point, all the other demons have been alone as well.
Right.
It could be that Solomon is implying that, he's a king. Where is his queen, right? Mm-hmm. Now that Solomon knows there are female demons, right?
Right. Why have none of them married you?
Right. Mm-hmm. But again, every demon so far has shown up alone, so we don't know what this question implies exactly. And again, it might be we might have lost something in the translation or whatever. But Beelzebub answers, and he says that he alone is left of the angels that came down from heaven.
Okay.
And that he was the first angel in the first heaven. And that his title up there was Beelzebul, which again, right, it could be Lord of the Heavenly Realm or Lord of High Places. Again, implying that this, in this story, Satan and Beelzebub are the same, right? Because this sounds a lot like Lucifer, right? Mm-hmm. And Beelzebub continues saying that now he controls all the souls who are bound in Tartarus. Now, again, this story is believed to be written by Greek Christians, and we can see the use of Tartarus here as maybe an attempt to bridge that gap between their old religion and this new one. And yeah, folks, just a really quick explanation of Tartarus. That's from Greek mythology. That's an underworld place. It is a place of punishment, of suffering. It's dungeon-like. It's where the Titans were put. Yeah. So Tartarus kind of being synonymous with hell here.
Okay.
But yeah, okay, so then Beelzebub says, "But I too have a child, and he haunts the Red Sea. And on any suitable occasion, he comes up to me again, being subject to me, and reveals to me what he has done, and I support him."
Well,
And
that's my sort of like soap opera revelation. Beelzebub has a son.
Right?
Bum, bum, bum.
Right? But no, yeah, you're right to kind of like wonder at this. Like other people are also like questioning this, right? Like, is he talking about Leviathan? Right? Like this creature in the sea, or is it like Behemoth? Or people think it's like, oh, is this the Antichrist? Right? Like, but whoever it is, it's nice to see that he has a supportive dad.
But that could be like physically support him because he doesn't have legs or something, or he has spider legs.
Oh, Keenan, why do you gotta take? Keenan, let's give the devil his due, okay?
Right. Yeah.
Sympathy for Asmodeus, and give Beelzebub his his baby boy, his bouncing baby boy.
Right. He has to support him because he's made entirely of vines or something. We have no idea.
It could be, right? Oh, I see what you did. You support him, says Solomon, right? Because he can't help cracking jokes,
Right?
But yeah, like, and another interesting thing here is that while the meetings with the other demons seemed like interrogations, this one almost seems like an interview, right? Like he gives Beelzebub that seat. They're talking about personal things, like why is the devil alone, and that he has a son, and also unlike the other demons, Solomon doesn't force anything on Beelzebub, right? Like he doesn't have the guards bind him or hit him or do anything like that, right? And we're also going to see in the next couple of verses that not only is Beelzebub able to talk back to him, but he can also deny a request.
Do you think that's because of his stature as a prince? Like because he's royal?
It could be. Yeah. I personally like this next little bit right here. So this is verse 27. I, Solomon, said unto him, Beelzebul, what is thy employment? And he answered me, I destroy kings. I ally myself with foreign tyrants, and my own demons I set onto men, in order that the latter may believe in them and be lost. And the chosen servants of God, priests and faithful men, I excite into desires for wicked sins, and evil heresies, and lawless deeds, and they obey me, and I bear them on to destruction. And I inspire men with envy, and desire for murder, and for wars, and for other evil things, and I will destroy the world. So we've kind of fallen into this rhythm of like, what's your name? Where do you live? What's your sign? What do you do? And to the answer of what do you do, he says to King Solomon, I destroy kings.
Right.
I really like that. Then we get to verse 28. So I said to him, bring to me thy child, who is, as thou sayest, in the Red Sea. But he said to me, I will not bring him to thee. But there shall come to me another demon called Ephipus. Him I will bind, and he will bring him up from the deep unto me. And I said to him, how comes thy son to be in the depth of the sea? And what is his name? And he answered me, ask me not, for thou canst not learn from me. However, he will come to thee by any command, and he will tell thee openly. So now, here, we can see that Beelzebub can deny a request from Solomon, right? It's like, no, I'm not going to bring my son to you.
I don't know why we brought him up in this story at all then.
Yeah. Well, no, we're actually going to meet him.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But it's interesting to see here that Solomon can't order the devil to fetch his son. But the devil's like, well, yeah, you're going to see him eventually, right? Like, you can call him yourself and he'll come. So then we get verse 29. I said to him, tell me by what angel thou art frustrated. And he answered, by the holy and precious name of the Almighty God, called by the Hebrews by a row of numbers, of which the sum is 644. And among the Greeks it is Emmanuel. And if one of the Romans adjure me by that great name of the power Eleath, I disappear at once. And then we have a little footnote from one of the scribes. It says, the text must be faulty, for the word Emmanuel is the Hebrew. The sum 644 is got by adding together the Greek numbers. Okay, so already, so we're getting some commentary by the people who are transcribing this. Okay, a couple of things. This is further proof that we're talking about the devil, because the only one who can stop him is God, is Emmanuel, right?
Okay.
Also, we got some numerology here, also known as arithmancy, also known as old math. No. But it is called gematria, and it is a numerological system by which Hebrew letters correspond to numbers.
Right.
It's a way to determine like your inner purpose and your life path, right? Like using your given name, you match up the letters with the traditional numbers associated with them, and then you use like a formula to find your number.
Right.
Actually, okay, Keenan. Did you hear about like the Monster Energy drink controversy?
Is this that you drink too much Monster Energy drink?
That's another controversy.
Is this when you moved back to America and you stayed with me and my girlfriend at the time in Los Angeles, and we'd say, "Hey, do you need anything from the store?" And all you would ever ask for is Monster Energy drink, and my girlfriend would be like, "Don't buy it for him. He drinks too much Monster Energy drink." And I would say, "No, come on, we asked him when he wants to the store." And we got to buy him Monster Energy. She's like, "Don't do it."
It's so nice that she cared about me.
Yeah. She was like, he's drinking too much of it.
That's unhealthy, right?
Unhealthy.
And then you guys came home that one day without any Monster, and you found that on my chest was scratched the words Monster Energy drink. It was, and then just under that, the 3 scratches that is the logo for the Monster Energy drink, right?
That was everywhere.
It's like, oh my gosh, we better obey him now.
Right, so we got...
The devil is asking for more Monster.
We got you as much as you can drink.
Yeah, right? It's like, do you want any Red Bulls? No Red Bull. It gives me wings. I'm the devil. I don't need...
So is that the Monster Energy drink controversy?
That is not that is in fact a true fact. That is not a controversy.
Right. That you drink too much in a Monster.
Yes. Currently, as we are recording, I have a can of well, it's not Monster. It's Rain energy drink.
Oh my! You've changed brands.
I have.
You've come a long way, baby.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, it's just whatever is the cheapest. So. At the time, Monster was cheaper than Red Bull.
I see.
So an equal opportunity
addict.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyways, my girlfriend and I broke up later that week. But it wasn't about that. It wasn't about Lester.
No, of course not. It was about all the monsters that I made you buy. No,
I don't know if you remember that, because obviously I remember. But like,
yes.
You would come back and you needed a place to stay, and then my girlfriend and I broke up, and she's like, this is just too complicated of a time to have a house guest, so we had to find a new spot for you.
Wow. Oh my goodness, Keenan, I didn't know. Like, wait, well, no, I don't know if I knew. I can't remember. Was I aware that you guys were going through like a thing?
No, we weren't going. It was a very sudden sort of breakup, and then it was like, and then we have a house guest. What a terrible time for a breakup.
Okay. I just gotta make sure. Mm-hmm. So the breakup was not like in the process.
No.
And I just just kind of like
no, not at all.
Situated, no. Invited myself over to your place while you were
not
having...
at all.
Okay.
It was perfectly fine. No. So and just so we're clear, like we're friends now. Like my ex-girlfriend and my current boyfriend Mark. He'd buy you as much Monster as you would want.
See,
for sure.
I might just drop by again.
Yeah, come on over. Absolutely. Yeah. Whenever you want, come over. We'll stock the fridge with Monster Energy drink.
Yay. Okay. But no, that is not the Monster Energy drink controversy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the one that other folks might know of is apparently, okay, so this lady makes a video a while back saying that the 3 scratches in the logo look a lot like the Hebrew numeral for 6.
Okay.
So it's not the scratch marks, it's actually 3 6s in Hebrew numerals.
Well, I have a couple of issues with that.
I was going to say, can we see the problems with this?
Well, first of all, scratches look like a lot of things.
Yeah. As we can attest to, as we have just done like a 3-part deep dive, like they can look like a stick figure of the devil.
Yeah, anything you want. Right.
Yeah.
And then the idea that 666 is the devil's number comes from the last book of the Christian Bible.
Correct.
So what would that have to do with Hebrew letters?
Yeah. So I'm just going to skip all of this because you've pretty much explained it right there. But no, guys. Yeah. It doesn't really work when I ask rhetorical questions and then you answer them.
No.
No. It's okay.
No, read this. This is good.
Yeah. So no, actually, no, folks, Keenan is absolutely right. So firstly, 666 is a completely Christian concept, right? It comes from the New Testament in the book of Revelation, right? The last book, right? Has no significance for the Jewish people at all, I am told. But if you did want to write, here's the other problem, Keenan. If you did want to write 666 in Hebrew numerals, so Rabbi Philip Weintraub says in an article, it would actually be Tav, Resh, Samech, and Vav. So that would be 666, not just 666 in the single digits, right? So that's interesting. They do something like that in Japanese too, where like you literally use different characters depending on if it's like a teens or a tens or a hundreds number, right? So yeah, so 666 is written differently from just like 3 6s in a row. Right. Also, again, folks, sorry to, burst everybody's bubble on all the fun demon stuff, but scholars also say now that the 666 in Revelation is probably a reference to Caesar Nero because they hated him so much.
Right.
So there you go. So Legion, 666, it's oops, all Romans, right? But yeah, so anyway, so that's the Monster Energy drink controversy.
One of them.
And this part of the episode was brought to you by Monster Energy Drink. Unleash the Beast. The Beast! Oh my God, Keenan! It was right there in front of us. We didn't see the forest for the demons. No.
We would have been more alert if we had been drinking Monster Energy Drink.
Yeah, right? You ever have one of those days where 1 minute you're soaring through the firmament and the next minute you're bound by a magic ring to serve the king of Israel? Building a temple can be dry work. And that's why during a break time with the boys, I reach for Monster Energy Drink. Not only does it quench my never-ending thirst, it also gives me pep, sharpens my mind, and makes me feel like a real demon. I'm just kidding. Solomon doesn't let us take breaks. But yeah, okay, so back to Beelzebub. So our guy, Solomon, listens to everything he says, and then he's like, all right, that's nice. Now get out there and start cutting the marble for the temple, right? And when the other demons see that Beelzebub is also enslaved, they quote, cry out with a loud voice, howling because of their king Beelzebul. So yeah, so now he has the king of demons or the prince of demons. It's, half one, six. Wait. Hang on.
Yeah.
Oh,
half a dozen on one hand, 666 on the other.
Yeah, oh, you got it. You knew where I was going. Okay, but yeah, so they they're shocked to see their leader also being enslaved by Solomon. Right? But yeah, and in the text it actually says marbles and not marble.
That's interesting.
So I wonder if that's just like how the stone was pluralized back then, because it can't be that Beelzebub is out there cutting marble.
like little
these tiny little marbles?
toy marbles to play marbles with.
That wouldn't be that's not what they're saying.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
When today when we say marbles like that, it would be like the Elgin marbles, which are the statues and things inside the Parthenon.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't think that's what they're saying.
No. Okay. So it must be like the marble stone that he's cutting.
Or little marbles to play marbles with, little balls.
Why does Solomon want him cutting? Like that's the demon's only recreation right now. That's all they. So you got your fearless leader,
mm-hmm.
who you have just discovered is also enslaved by Solomon.
Right.
And you were taking a break. You were playing marbles. You Ornias and Oniskelis were just like playing. I don't know the rules of marbles, folks. I can't do this joke justice.
It's
you just
like Pogs.
Okay.
Do you remember Pogs?
Well, you just won. You just won like the best marble in the bunch.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then like Beelzebub shows up and you're like, hey boss. And with the saddest of faces, he takes this cleaver and he slices your best marble.
You're supposed to stop him before he slices it so that he knows it belongs to you.
How are you going to do that?
You say,
He's Beelzebub.
No, let him have my favorite marble. Don't slice it in half, King Solomon.
Oh. See?
It's like, clearly this marble belongs to her.
She cares about it so much.
Exactly.
And that little marble grew up to be one of the marbles in the Parthenon. There we go. Brought it back.
There we go. So now it's over.
Yeah. It's done. Yeah. Okay, so this is where we're going to stop, folks, and we're going to pick back up next week. We still got a lot of demons to get through. I wanted to touch on the important ones here. And Keenan and I are each going to choose 3 of our favorite demons, and we're going to talk about them. That's next week. So stay tuned and treat your demons nice.
Yeah, criminal justice reform for demons.
Yeah, for real. For real. Come on, guys. Okay, so that is all I have for this week. All right, well, that was great. Thanks, past Lester and Keenan. Well, folks, I have been Lester Ryan Clark, both in the past and in the present. You can summon me on all the socials as Lester Ryan Clark.
And I am immune to the bounds of time, and I've been Keenan Diaz, and you can invoke me on Instagram and Letterboxd at Howdy Keenan.
Yeah, find more of our shows and other really cool podcasts at True Story FM. Like us on Instagram and join our Facebook listener group, Dante's Ninth Circle Sushi and Karaoke Bar, or feel free to drop us a message at thedevilsdetails@gmail.com. Wouldst thou like to live deliciously? We're not even asking for your souls. Just give us a 5-pentagram rating on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen to our show. That and sharing the show by word of mouth or on social media helps our little podcast grow and find more cool people like you. All right, folks. Until next week, love and hisses. Mwah!
Mwah.